Hello, I see Nurgle Matt is in here. Hello, everybody. I am Jake, and bear with me. I'm not going to set myself up for failure here, but this is the first time using this software on this platform. So we'll see how it goes. Give it a couple of minutes. I still need to figure out how to do the whole stream is starting soon and not flub the button clicking as much as I possibly can. But how's it going, Matt? I'm going to call you out. Supreme Commander. I don't know about that, but how's it going, Ramon? I was actually in the middle of just finalizing the format, like the actual like visual format that is for the Las Vegas Teams Tournament player packet. And I'm gonna pause on that, minimize that window, so I don't make a mistake here. Since you two are the first here, can you just verify that it sounds and looks okay? The stream, that is. Very nice. Thank you. I've always wondered how much of a delay there is too. So I'm using the software called StreamYard.com. It's actually pretty cool. Makes things a little bit easier than the standard customized OBS or even Streamlabs OBS, where, yeah, sure, you get a ton of customizable features to things, but you know, if you're short on time doing whatever, you got multiple things to do, then easy use software like this is pretty good, pretty cool. I think you can even do like sound effects. Let's see how this looks. Show comments on stage. Oh. That's pretty cool. Nifty features. Welcome in, everybody. I'm just going to kick this off so we can stay on schedule. Oh, actually, I'm ahead of schedule. It's 3:33. I was going to give it a five-minute buffer just to see how this all goes for this first kickoff. So these will obviously be recorded as well, so they can be accessed after the fact. My plan here is to kind of include some relevant information week to week based off of events happenings. We at FLG, we have quite a bit of different happenings that are going on at all times, but events specifically is something that's such a popular department, if you want to call it that, department for frontline gaming. So I thought it deserved its own source of information, something that's dedicated towards all things events. And, you know, there's always something to talk about, always something going on. It's how I spend a good portion of, well, it's a good portion. Yeah, I would say a pretty good portion. You know, lately it's been about a third of my day to day. With all things going on, especially with LVO and the post LVO wrap up, so on and so forth. But as far as the information that you can expect from these live streams, as well as the Q&A, of course, I would love for this to be kind of the go-to. It's what kind of started as a quasi joke, as most things do. Is you know, there were some days, especially like leading up to event weeks and months, there's some days that I wish I could just go live and just be like, let me answer as many questions as I possibly can, and just open up like almost like an open door Google Meets. But that obviously wouldn't be that practical. So, but as far as a weekly live goes, I think this is going to be a whole lot of fun. And as we do it more regularly, so I'm going to try planning on doing this every single Friday. I've made a commitment every single Friday, 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because we are based out here in Vegas, and hopefully it's a good time. But yeah, up and coming events. What do we have next? We've got the Las Vegas Teams Tournament. So that came back. It was actually one of LVTT, if you guys remember, what was that in 2021, was actually my first teams event ever, because I haven't actually been playing competitive 40K for very long. So I attended as a patron, so part of the War Room Gladiators team it was that I was part of. That was my first foray into it, and it was a lot of fun. So LVTT, for those who don't know, it's a 5v5 format of competitive 40K. It is an extremely different experience if you've only been used to playing 40K singles. There's something about team play in general. It's more about hanging with the homies. It's going to the venue. It's the after hours. There's just so much more. It's so hard to describe. But so yeah, LVTT is coming up in January. That's January 10th, happening at the World Market Center's Skyview Tower. So gorgeous views, and a more of an intimate setting. So while World Market Center is the stage for our new venue for Las Vegas Open, it's certainly not taking up the whole expo hall, because we're at most expecting about 300 people, but that's still, I guess that's it's still a sizable amount considering it's just for one gaming system. But we're filling up pretty well there. Let's actually see. So this is kind of one of the cool things that I'm able to do for everybody, is kind of check information and gain data on a live basis. So yeah, just a little context. If anybody ever asks, like if any of our TOs ever ask, hey Jake, what's our attendance at? Well, I just got to log in and check it. Of course, I'm working on automating some systems, but easier said than done. Oh wow, we're almost at 40 teams here. So that's 37 teams registered for LVTT. I think I can do a sound effect. 1 second. Nope. Too far gone. I don't know where that button is, but I was going to do an applause thing. But yeah, so that's looking pretty good. That's pretty good. So our max cap at this one we've set to be 50 teams for now. It just requires a little bit of Jenga. And for those of you that were with us at the Las Vegas Open or at any previous event within the 2025 season, one of the big commitments that we've made has been towards the quality of life improvements whenever and wherever possible. So sometimes we're at the mercy of just this specific venue itself, like Bay Area Open, if you've ever attended that one. Space is just kind of hard to come by in the Bay Area, and California in general, but specifically like Northern California. And there's just some cities that is, that's a thing. But with BAO being we had to work with what we had, is what I'm trying to say. But outside of that, whenever it is possible, we're always going to add that quality of life value, meaning we don't want anybody crammed in there like a bunch of sardines and, be uncomfortable, going the extra mile, again, whenever and wherever possible. So, but even so, 50 teams for the return of LVTT is not too shabby. And I know the number one question that's been on everyone's mind has been, where is the player packet? If you're coming in later and listening to this, I was literally just finalizing or putting the finishing touches on the new format, the new visual format, because player packets, they contain literally everything you need to know going into an event. I will fully admit, I've been to plenty of events myself, FLGs, non-FLGs. There's times where I just don't read the player packet. Usually, like if you're a frequent event goer and you kind of stick to the same groups and stuff, not too much changes here and there. And then one good thing with 10th edition, I would say specifically, is that there has been a lot of consistency. So like outside of big data changes or data slate changes and points balances and all that. Outside of that, there hasn't been like too many weird rulings that event organizers have had to modify themselves. So that's kind of made it a little bit easier. But what the player packet will always contain are kind of like the specifics. So, I'm really, really big on the hobby. And that's one of the things that we've made an improvement. I would say a pretty significant improvement on clarifying and updating the hobby skills. So the hobby competitions rubric within the packet, instructions on like how it's being ran, when it's being ran, all relevant bits of information for what you would expect while you're attending one of our events. That's what a player packet is. So this one in particular, though, is quite different than just a straightforward 40K player packet because of the teams element. And super exciting stuff, if you haven't heard, was our announcement of the ATC and NTL. That's the National Tabletop League collaboration. So they have a pretty heavy hand in assisting with the format on this one, alongside our 40K head judge, Adam Solis. I wish he was listening so I could make some like inside jokes. Maybe he is listening. I don't know. Who knows? Probably not. Friday night. Still Friday afternoon for him too. But yeah, super exciting stuff. So that means that we're not running our teams event, because we've in the last 12 months we ran 2 teams events. One being a WTC format, and the other one being just a actually, sorry, both being WTC formats. VAO Wargaming. Oh, is that you, Adam? Because I just popped that comment onto the screen. That sounds creepy. That's fine. That's fine. You can stalk me if that's what you're doing. I give. Oh yeah. Wait. I'm so confused. Who's who? Oh, Ismail says, sadly, Adam is working right now at his new store. Yeah. I mean, I'm good for him. Like, I'm not too sad. His store looks awesome, by the way. Oh shit, it is Adam. My goodness. All right. Hiding in the shadows behind one of his many accounts. But what were we talking about? We're talking about the ATC and the NTL collaboration, primarily with the NTL. So we're an officially sanctioned National Tabletop League event. So it's practically like a collaborative. It's a collaborative, or it's an event run in collaboration with one another. So it's been really great to interact also with JD Carter. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with that gentleman. It's some absurd number of events that he's actually directly had a hand in for 2025, meaning by means of acting as a judge or an actual organizer, helping run the event, so on and so forth. I think he's going to end the year at 86 events once all said and done. And he's out there. He's one of the judges at World Championships of Warhammer in Atlanta. So no, it's been a great collaboration, and having being able to apply a lot of the ATC format, which is super popular and super well received, into what the LVTT is going to be moving forward, is really awesome. So one of the things ambitiously, I guess I could just upload the player packet right now, but naturally I was going to try to pair it with the BCP codes blast going out to the captains. But just some highlights, if you will. So one of the biggest things that you'll see, so if you're interested at all, or if you are attending the LVTT in January, is how we're doing the missions. So it is literally the same layout, of course, because logistics matter from an events organizer's perspective, but the missions are going to be basically two. You have to pick and choose or pair between 2 missions for every single round. So every round, or so every table of pods, there's 5 tables, because obviously it's 5 versus 5. But every table layout is going to remain the same. It's layout 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8. from the tournament companion. But as far as the missions go, you guys will check this out in the packet because it'll sound confusing. Because I don't know what it is, but like Warhammer rules always sound confusing when you start saying it out loud. But let me give you this example. So for round 1, it's layout 1, or sorry, for the table layout 1, it's mission A or D. For layout 2, M or O. For layout 4, I or K. 6, it'll be J or L. And on layout number 8, F or G. So it adds a lot of diversity. And I thought that was really, really cool. Because one of the things that we are doing is bringing and printing a whole new set of pairing cards to be able to provide, and for every single person or every single team to use should they want to use ours. But either way, it's going to be available for everybody. But but even for the mission cards itself, because that's a it's a visual aid as well. So we're gonna have those mission cards as well. But yeah, I can't wait for everyone to see the player packet. And please, by all means, provide feedback. That it's been on my to-do list of things to make sure that all of our information is disseminated as effectively and efficiently as possible. Meaning, like if it's a cluster of a document, it's not really going to encourage anybody to actually read it. So, my goal is to try to improve the user experience on that side. But it's still a lot of words, but all relevant and important words. That's pretty much how I can surmise what a player packet is. But yeah, LVTT. So don't sleep on it if you're still waiting, if you're still on the fence for getting tickets for that. What did I say it was? 37 out of the 50 person or 50 team cap that I just looked up. Yep. So 37. So meaning it's not too far off, but I'd expect the remaining teams that were possibly even waiting on the exact format to scoop their tickets up after this player packet and the BCP registrations go out today. So I'll literally do it after this showing. But yeah, so if you're just joining us, just feel free, drop a question, comment, grievance to our head judge, Adam. I heard he's lurking around here in the shadows. Happy to ask any and all questions, because that's what the whole purpose of this thing is. But yeah, not too far after Las Vegas teams, we've got the Cherokee Open. On paper, guys, before I went for the first time, and of course I went to actually like help run the event on the ground this February. On paper, I was like, why would anybody want to go to this? This is like so out of the way logistically, or maybe it's just because we're coming from the West Coast and the flight, like the best flight that we could find was Las Vegas to Atlanta, and then like a 2.5 hour drive up to the resort. So again, just on paper, to be fair, on paper, it seemed just like a pain to get to. But as soon as we got there, man, the simplest way I can put it is I absolutely felt and saw the magic that is the Cherokee Open. It's an awesome resort. It's like it is very like nature oriented. I was trying to move the date there a little bit to push it into like the first week of March. So still, of course, don't want to interrupt or intersect too much with Adepticon schedule. But just shooting for a little bit of that nicer weather, and instead of the third week of February. I mean, it's not like a huge difference, but it's a difference nonetheless. But we could only do that for 2027. But yeah, this was a good one. It's a massive hall that we're in there, so we have plenty of game systems that are running. We've got Legion, Legion TO puts on such a good event over there. That's Richard Lavery. We have Old World joining us for the very first time. if we have any old world fans out there, I'm sure they'll know the name, but Dylan Mosby. He was a West Coaster. Now he's a Northeaster. I forget where he is exactly, but he moved. But that means we have an old world event happening at the Cherokee Open. So I guess selfishly, thanks Dylan. But yeah, Age of Sigmars always got a good turnout. This year we have a switch up to our organizer for that one. I'm gonna really like butcher pronouncing his last name because I don't think I've ever said it out loud, but it's Michael Schlegelmilk. Anyways, Michael is one of the regional locals out there. Very much knows what he's doing. I met him actually at this last Cherokee, and he was playing the event itself. So should be a good one. We have a proper 40K narrative event going on, and that's being ran by Ricky, who's also somewhat local to the area, but also within the region. But Ricky's he's got a very impressive portfolio of various narratives that he has run, and continues to run. But it should be a nice and fun one. Kill Team is returning. Kill Team last year, George Pratt, RTO for Kill Team at Cherokee, debuted Kill Team at Cherokee, and it went great. It was a really big turnout for a first timer. I think it was almost 40, or was it 40? I got a lot of numbers that are jumbled up in my head, but it is coming back for the return. Last year, for 40K champs, because we did hit our record attendance for 40K champs singles last year. I'm trying to remember from the top of my head. I'm sure I'll be corrected if a little inaccurate here, but I think it was at 230 players. All right, we'll go with 230. So we always get a great crowd coming out to Cherokee for this one. So we'll see where we land for this year, for 2026. I'm already at that place where I have to switch gears. I made a first round of mistakes where it's typing in 2025 when we're dealing with 2026 numbers, because when you work, even if it's just like any job that you have to put dates in, I'm sure you'll all relate to that kind of confusion towards the end of the year, but especially with an events organization, you are very early on dealing with the future dates. Okay, so Mr. Solis is saying it was closer to 250. Yeah, it's got to be somewhere around there. Why I jumble numbers from memory, which is why I am meticulous on my note taking, is because I always try to retain too many numbers in my head, meaning tickets sold, so registered tickets sold, registered into BCP, the pre-event attrition numbers, and then the day one dice roll numbers. So there's quite a bit, but the day one dice roll numbers is always the most accurate. We don't play or fluff with our attendance. I don't really see a point. I guess no judgment to anybody that does, but I don't see a point is my main thing. But yeah, so that's why I'm always gonna be juggling like four or five different sets of numbers in my mind. So okay, but yeah, closer to 250. So that'd be interesting. We have plenty of space at this venue too, so we could easily, for 40K side, we could easily host a 400 person event. Not that we have outside of the LVO. Lone Star was coming. Lone Star might be creeping up to it, because it was a great year for 40K singles, for 40K champs, for FLG events. Lone Star broke the 300 mark for 40K, so not too shabby. But yeah, Cherokee Open. I just noticed something on here that hasn't been updated, so just taking mental notes. Man, there's always something. There's always something to do. But yes, so if you haven't been to the FLG Events Hub, which is a new platform that we launched and use for all things events purposes, check it out. It's that URL that's static down there on the bottom. It's got our entire calendar lineup posted up, including LVO states, which we actually posted up the day after LVO October. But that's what we're doing moving forward. We have the dates. You know, it's our job and on us to make sure that we have everything set in place when it comes to organizing things like this. So if we have the dates, we'll post the dates. Yeah, I don't know why I made that sound so weird. Some definitely some exciting stuff coming up. While most things are quote unquote business as usual, we've got the change to 2 of our venues for 2026. So for our Rocky Mountain crowd, so you're the Colorado folk, you'll be very, very pleased to hear that we're now actually in Denver, like Denver itself, at the Marriott Tech Center, with a bit of a date change. So even nicer weather. It's the first weekend of May 2nd. So that's moved from the end of March to the beginning of May, to put into perspective. And then BAO, that's the Bay Area Open, the longest standing and longest running frontline gaming event, well before my time. I heard it was in a barn at some point or something, and I don't think that's an exaggeration. Has now upgraded to the Westin. So as much as I like the Crown Plaza, it wasn't particularly our choice, but because we run BAO in conjunction with KublaCon, which is one of the gaming conventions, also a long-time standing gaming convention. We were just kind of piggybacking off of venues, but yeah, the Westin should be a much needed improvement overall. Okay, I think I'm going to get the player packet up and out for all the LVTT players and fix the thing that I saw on Cherokee's Event Hub page. Before I wrap this up, I know we don't have too many people on here. If there are ever any questions throughout the stream or even ahead of time, what I'm going to do is post the actual like live link that's going to be used on YouTube so that everybody can subscribe to it in advance. And I believe you can just post in your chat on the wall or your comments on the wall, and it'll show up and carry over until it goes live. Please do trying to use this platform to drive that conversation drive that conversation as much as possible. And yeah, some cool things that I think we can do. This software seriously makes it really easy to have like guests and stuff on. So maybe like player interviews, have some chats with TOs. I don't know. I'm open to anything. So that's, please use the comment section for this, which is to give suggestions on what everybody might want to see. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me. We are gearing up for Black Friday here starting next week because, it's a big thing. We got some cool, really, really cool stuff happening on that front, including new products and maybe even a new terrain line. You'll have to see. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. Keeping it short and sweet. Thank you for keeping me company. I really appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side.